Good morning, my dear students. So, welcome back to the biology NEET class. From the concepts of reproduction in organisms, so a few more important concepts, those are included in a reproduction chapter that we will discuss in this class. So, that concepts we called it as the asexual reproduction methods. So, from last 2-3 classes we are discussing about the asexual reproduction, how it is occur in the different following organisms, like it may be the unicellular organisms or the lower algae and the bryophytes, how it is occur that we are discussing. Now, in this class we have to discuss further more information how a asexual reproduction is occur in the higher plants. So, in a asexual reproduction, one of the important concept we called it as the vegetative propagation. So, the vegetative propagation. So, in today's class we have to discuss about the vegetative propagation. So, first of all, what is vegetative propagation? How it helps for to produce the new plants, the formation of new individuals of the plants, how this phenomenon is helps. So, we have to discuss vegetative in the sense the parts of the plants, those are not helped for the sexually, those parts we call it as the vegetative parts. If you have to observe in a flowering plant, the vegetative parts commonly we call it as root, stem, leaves. These three parts we called it as the vegetative parts. And propagation means a production of new plants by the help of these vegetative parts. That vegetative parts like leaves and roots, stems, how they are involved for production of a new plants. So, this is also a asexual mode of reproduction which will produce us the plants, the new plants within a short time period. Here the vegetative structures like we called it as the tubers or the rhizomes or the corms or suckers, bulbils, bulbs, offsets and stolons, runners, like all these are following vegetative propagules. So, in a different plants are following the different vegetative part. That vegetative parts are vegetative buds, we call it as the vegetative propagules. How? So, first of all, definition. What the term of vegetative propagation can be defined? It means the vegetative parts or the vegetative buds are act as a vegetative propagule. So, like examples of this vegetative propagule we can give those some rhizomes, sucker and the like runners, stolons, tubers, like many vegetative propagules we can observe. So here the vegetative propagules means by the help of the vegetative parts. The vegetative parts are involved, the vegetative parts are involved for production of new daughter individuals or new daughter plant individuals. So new daughter plants or the new plants can be produced by the help of the vegetative parts. What are those vegetative parts? For example, these vegetative parts commonly we call it as like either it may be the root or stem or leaves. So these are the major structures present in the flowering plants. Those structures can help for the vegetative propagation. So what is the use of this vegetative propagation? What are the merits, advantages of this vegetative propagation? And how it will help for the cropping to the peoples, or how it will be helps to the agriculturist. So the basic thing for this vegetative propagation, like merits, the vegetative propagation takes part, especially these plants can be produced within a short time with a huge population. It means for production of new plants, within a short time. Within a short time we can produce us the huge number of the plants. Means less time more population, or less time more production of crops, or more production of the plants. Like the another we called it as the to maintain purity of plants. The purities in the sense from that plant it can produce as a new plant. It is the same species, but it can maintain a good purity, or a pure character it can be maintained. While producing 2 generations and 3 generations with the same parent, it creates a purity of the gametes, or purity of the plants it can produce. Then another advantage of this vegetative propagation is we called it as the, if it is producing the pure gametes or purity, then automatically such type of the plants can shows the resistance power towards microbial diseases. Means disease resistant plants can be produced. Disease resistant in the sense, so the disease resistant we may call it as commonly the plants are affected either the viral diseases or the bacterial diseases or fungal diseases. So if we have to select a plant for the vegetative propagation, if that plant, the parent plant, it is not affected with any types of the diseases, then automatically the newly synthesized plant also, it should not to show, or it shows the resistance capacity towards pathogenic organisms, like we called it as the viral organisms and the bacterial organisms and the fungal organisms. So the plants also get affected by these pathogenic organisms, like not only the human beings or the animals, the other plants also they are affecting by the microbial organisms. How it is affecting in the sense, like nowadays we are feeling some corona disease is affected to the human being. Likewise, some of the viral, like you may observe the best example, tobacco mosaic virus. So the tobacco mosaic virus causes the effect to the plants, we call it as the tobacco plants. Likewise, in fungus, the red rot disease can be seen in the sugarcane stems. The red spots can be observed, a line like red spots can be observed, that it is affected by the fungus. Like the bacterial diseases, like many pathogenic organisms can affect even in the plant bodies also. That's why such type of the plant diseases can be reduced by using the pure parent plants for vegetative propagation. And these are the basic advantages by usage of vegetative propagation, the merits of the vegetative propagation. So these vegetative propagations can be classified into two types. Those two types, one we called it as there are two types of vegetative propagation. There are two types of the vegetative propagations. So one type we called it as the natural methods of vegetative propagation. The natural method of the vegetative propagation, and the second method we called it as the artificial methods of vegetative propagation. So one, it is a natural methods. Natural methods in the sense, by naturally the plant itself it is involved for the vegetative propagation. That we called it as the vegetative propagation by natural methods. Whereas in case of the artificial methods, it is man-made mechanism, or otherwise the human beings are involved for to performing such type of the vegetative propagation. That's why we call it as a artificial method of vegetative propagation. So let us talk about this natural method of vegetative propagation, how that natural method of the vegetative propagation can help for the plants for vegetative propagation, for development of the mass of the plants. For that purpose, how this natural method can be helps. So, the natural method of vegetative propagation. The natural method of vegetative propagation. So, how natural methods of vegetative propagation can be seen in different organisms of different plants, in the sense like the vegetative parts, one we called it as, it is in following different types that we can see in the roots, how the roots are helps for the vegetative propagules. Now here the roots are involved for vegetative propagules. The roots are helps for vegetative propagation. So, the roots can be seen in many of the organisms where we can find these roots, how they are helping in the following plants, the vegetative propagation, how it is occur through the help of the roots, in the sense the best example like sweet potato. The sweet potato is the best example where we can observe the vegetative propagation is occur through the help of their roots. Likewise, in the asparagus, and the sweet potatoes can be observed, the some of these we can called, this is only not be the vegetative propagation through roots. Some of the many examples we can consider, among that the sweet potato and asparagus we can give the best example for roots or helps as a vegetative propagation. So, whereas in case of the stems, that we call it as the, if you have to observe in the stems, underground stems. In some of the plants, the stems are modified structures which are involved for the vegetative propagation. So, how the stems are involved, in the sense here the modified stems, the modified stems are helps for vegetative propagation. So, the underground stems are helps for the vegetative propagation. So, where we can observe these underground stems, in the sense by following plants with the different types, we can observe the vegetative propagation through stems. So, like we called it as the one, it is a tubers and the bulbils, bulbs and rhizomes. So, the underground stems like tubers and the bulbs and rhizomes and corms and suckers are behaves like a vegetative propagules for development of the new plants. So where we can observe this kind of the vegetative propagule in the sense, like you may take an example for the tubers, the potatoes. In every potato, the eyes of the potatoes can help for the production of a new potato plant. Likewise in the bulbs, where we can observe in onion and the garlic, in these the modified fleshy bulbs are observed, those are helps for the newly formation of the onions and the garlics. So due to the storage of these food, the leaves will become modified into fleshy and the structure of underground part will become a swollen structure. That's why it is appear like a bulb like a structure that we can observe in the onions and garlics. Whereas in case of the rhizomes, in rhizomes we can observe in case of the turmeric and ginger. The turmeric and ginger can give the best examples for the underground parts like rhizomes or helps for vegetative propagation. Likewise in the corms we can give the best examples like Amorphophallus and the Colocasia. So the Amorphophallus and Colocasia can give the best examples for the corms. The corms parts are behaves like a vegetative propagules. Like in the suckers, mint and chrysanthemum. Can be seen under the suckers. So these are the following vegetative propagules for underground stems. Whereas in case of the subaerial stems, the another type we call it as the subaerial. How the subaerial stems can help for the vegetative propagation. So while you have to observe, these parts are beneath the soil region they are present. And subaerial in the sense, they are not be present completely aerially, not be present underground. It means in the subaerial manner they are present. That's why such type of the subaerial stems, how they are helps for the vegetative propagation. It is in following three types. Like one we called it as the runners. The another type we called it as the stolons, and the third type is a offsets. These are the three different types of subaerial stems which helps for the vegetative propagation. Runners, if you have to take the plants which will be very familiarly we can observe the grasses. These grasses can be creep on the soil region. While you have to observe on soil region, whenever their nodes will be come in contact with the soil, they will start to produce us the adventitious roots, or we call it as the fibrous manner like adventitious roots they are producers. That's why their growth will be present prolonged period on the surface of the soil region. So like the best examples for the runner like Centella and Cynodon and like we called it as the Centella, Cynodon and lawn grass. The lawn grass. So these plants are the best examples for the runners. The running parts like the creepers can help for vegetative propagation, whereas in case of the stolons, the parts like we called it as the can be seen in the like Vallisneria and strawberry. The strawberry and Vallisneria plants having the stolons structures which helps for the their increase of their population purpose or helps as a vegetative propagules. Like in offsets that we can observe in the Pistia and water hyacinth, that we call it as a acornia. The water hyacinth also we call it as the acornia, and the Pistia are the best examples for the offsets. So these are the following plants can show the subaerial stems are modified for vegetative propagation. The subaerial stems are helps for vegetative propagation as in the form of runners or in the form of stolons or in the form of the offsets. Like in case of the aerial stems, likewise you may observe in the aerial stems. The aerial stems also can be seen in the following plants like we called it as the phylloclades of the Opuntia and sugarcane plant. The sugarcane, it's a aerial stem is involved for the vegetative propagation. Like the another type is a aerial stems. So how these aerial stems can be helps for vegetative propagation in the sense where we can observe these structures in the sense phylloclades of means fleshy stems of Opuntia the Opuntia plant. The fleshy structures can be helps as a aerial stems which are behaves like a vegetative propagules for production of the new Opuntia plants. Likewise we can observe even in the aerial stems of sugar cane. So the aerial stems of the sugar cane, it is behaves like a the normally we are observing the sugarcane crop during cropping time. They will cut the sugarcane into small pieces. For each piece they will take care to presence of at least one node. Then such type of the noded stems can be inserted in the soil. After few minutes or after few days that node region can start to produce us the newer branch. That branch will be develops like a whole plant of the sugarcane. So thank you. The remaining concepts we will be continue in the next class. Thank you for watching this video class.